Yeah, today we are going to discuss about conditional statements in Python. So, before going to discuss about the actual concept of conditional statements in Python, let's take a one use case from the real-time example, okay? So that you are going to understand the purpose of conditional statements in programming language. If you understand this real-time concept, let's say overview of the decision, right? See, every day we make a decision, right? So what you want to do after breakfast, what you want to do after completion of one thing, right? So based on some conditions, some criteria, we make our decisions, and as per the decisions we follow on the day, on any business or something, right? So when we consider our real-time example scenario every day on the decision making, we make some decisions, and based on those decisions made, we will take further actions. So hence all our daily life activities depend on the depending on the what decisions we make, right? That means that your daily life activities is going to happen running based on the decisions you made you made on the day. So in similar situation arises in the programming language as well, where we have to make some decisions. Based on the decisions programming lecture, let's say we have a some branch of codes, okay, branch of statements. Those branch of statements should only execute when some rules are satisfied. So we are check some rules, we are going to check some conditions. After that conditions we decide whether that particular business logic business goes to execute or. So like how you make your decisions in your life, and based on the decisions we follow, do the activities, and the further, right? Like that in programming also we check the some conditions. Based on that conditions we decide, we program will take the decision which branch of code should execute, which branch of code should not execute. Based on the condition output, it will evaluate and make the decision and execute the branch of some lines of code inside if or else. So if you go to the actual concept of conditional statements in Python, in programming languages, most of the time in large projects or any in simple projects, we have to control the flow of execution of our program. We have to control the flow of execution of our program. You want to execute some set of statements only if the given condition is satisfied. You don't want to execute some set of statement when given condition is not satisfied. And a different set of statement is when not satisfied. Understood, guys? Let's say we have some code. That code needs to be executed only when condition satisfies. But in order to do this kind of condition checking and executing those lines of code when condition satisfies, we need to have one concept in programming. That's what the conditional statements, if and else. Condition statements also known as a decision making statements. We need to use this conditional statement to execute the specific block of code if given condition is true or false. So it's basically, if condition, we give some condition, if condition satisfies, then only if block will is going to execute. Otherwise, other block is going to execute. Okay, let's go ahead. How many conditional statements available in Python? So Python provides four conditional statements. Basically, if we elif guys, but let's see. I divided it into further to understand this concept in depth. If statement, if else statement, elif statement, if elif nested if else statements, and elif ladder. So we are going to see what is if statement, how what is the syntax to write if statement, and let's do some example on if statement. So what is if statement actually? Python if statement is one of the most commonly used conditional statements in programming languages. It decides whether the certain statements needs to be executed or not. So I will show you the syntax in a minute, but it decides whether certain statements needs to be executed or not. Okay. If the condition is true, then set of code present inside a if block will be executed. Otherwise not. Here inside the if condition, we have a condition, right? If that condition is true, then only the if block is going to be executed. Otherwise, if block is not going to execute. The condition evaluates as a Boolean expression and execute the block of code only when Boolean expression becomes the true. So let's see it. Let's do some examples. Let me open Python editor and check here. Yeah. Are you able to see my Python editor? Someone confirm, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Able.
Yes. Conditional statements. Okay. The first one is if condition, right? If statement. The syntax is looking like this, guys. Syntax is something if, and some condition here. Okay. Colon, enter. Sorry. Let me show you this. How it looks like. If 20 greater than 30, for example, colon, enter. Print 20 per here. I'm just printing some randomly. The syntax is going to look like this. If is a reserved keyword, that's why it is highlighted like this. And here condition. Here it is a condition, colon. After that, this print statement is written inside this if block actually. Python follows the indentation feature. We have to give four spaces and write the whatever logic you want inside this if condition. Okay. So this print statement is going to be executed only when this condition true. Otherwise, this print statement is not going to be executed by the Python. So let's see. Let's say a is equal to 10. If a greater than 9, colon, enter. Print. We can write any number of statements here. Okay. This is one line. This is another line. This is another line. Okay. Let me run this program. See the output. What it is game? What output you are getting here? HHH and SSS. In this case, this condition true or false, guys? If a is greater than 9, what is the a value here? 10, right? 10 is greater than 9. That means the output of this expression is true. If true means this if block, whatever code we have written inside this if block, that code is going to be executed by the Python. So in case if this condition is false, if false means this if block is not going to execute. Let's see it. Let's make a false statement here. In this case, a is greater than 11. So what is the a value here? 10. Greater than 11. So what is the output? False, right? This expression output is false. If false, the if condition if block is going to execute only when if condition is true. But in this context, what is happening? If condition is false, that means that this statement is supposed to be not executed. Let me run this. Are you getting any print statement here? this code itself not executed. Why it's not executed? This block of code will execute only when this condition is true. But in this case, a value is 10, greater than 11 means it's a false because 10 is less than 11, not greater than. So this output is false. If false means Python is not going to execute the if inside if block code. It just skip, go away, go to the other lines of code outside if condition. So let's do another example. Okay. Let's say we have these three names. Okay. I want to check this particular name is available in this names list or not. So I simply if name name in names, right? I can use membership operator, right? Yesterday we discussed about this. If name in names, this is the condition we are checking. What in operator does? This in operator return true when this given name is available in this list. It return false when this particular name is not available in this list. So simply print found, for example. Simple example. Okay. In this case, what is going to happen? What is name Bhadra? Bhadra there in this names list or not? It's there, right? It's matching, right? So it's matching. So this expression is going to return the true value. Once it return true, if true means the if block code is going to be executed. That means that I'm expecting this found output in the screen. So that means this is true. That's why Python control goes inside the if condition, printed this statement. So now I'm giving name is equal to let's say Ravi. Okay. So I'm running the same code again here. Name in names. Are you going to get this found output or not? Is Ravi there in this list? Ravi not there, right?
No.
That means what in operator does here? When this particular name in the sense here Ravi, right? Ravi in names. When this Ravi is available in these names, it return true. But in our context, this particular name not available here, right? In operator return the false. The output of this expression is false. If false means Python control won't go inside this statement. Clear, guys? That's why print statement is not coming here. That's why print statement is not coming here. Clear this part?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So when this if block code is executed, when this condition is true. Otherwise, this if block code is not going to execute. Okay. So this is the syntax. If expression is true, whatever expression we written or condition we wrote right in there, if that one is true, then only this block of code will execute. Otherwise, else block will execute. For example, age is equal to 30. Age is greater than 30. Age is greater than 30. Else, age is less than 30. So here, if you observe it, this is one block of code. This is another block of code. So execution of this code is totally depends on the conditions we are making here. This is the condition, right? 20 is greater than 30. True or false? False. If false, it is going to the it goes to the else condition and execute here. In case if it becomes true, this statement is going to execute and come out of this if else. So whenever you see if else kind of thing, only one block of code will execute. Both blocks won't execute it. Okay. If this condition satisfies, this block will execute. If this condition not satisfied, by default else block will be executed. So let's see. For example, flow diagram. Statement of if block. Statement of if block means this one. This is the statement of if block or expression. When this expression returns true, when this expression returns true, condition. This is the condition. And this expression return true, statement of if block will be executed. When this expression, when this condition return false, rest of the code. That means that it won't go inside the if statement. Here I give an example. You can go through this by following this flow diagram. Here I have given so many examples. Okay, on if example 2, example 3, example 4. Okay, next statement is if else statement in Python. So what is if else statement? The statement itself says that if given condition is true, then execute the statement present inside the if block. If the condition is false, then execute the else block. So if else means if is one block, else is one block. Whatever code we write inside the if block, that is totally based on the condition. Else block is if condition is false, by default Python control comes to the else block and execute the code. Else block will execute only when condition became false in the if condition. It is a block where you perform some actions when condition is not true. If else statement evaluates a Boolean expression. If the condition is true, then code present inside the if block will be executed. Otherwise, code else block will be executed. This is a high level definition of behavior of the if else. The syntax is similar like this. If the statement or condition and the whatever code you want to execute when this condition is true, when this condition satisfies, otherwise false, else. When this condition false, else block will execute by default. So let's look into this. Let's take the same example, okay? If name in names, not found. So in this case, what is name? Name is Ravi only, right? Still, Ravi name, it is going to return the what? False. If written false, this statement is not going to execute. You go to the else again. Else block, execute this one directly. Let's see it. What I am getting? Not found because this condition is false. Because name is what? Watch value Ravi. Ravi not available in this list, right? That's why not found. If you make name equal to execute this same statement again, I am getting found because this condition is true. When condition true, it will execute the if block. When condition false, it will execute the else block. Are you clear on this? The behavior here we are making decisions. Right?
Yes.
Which code we will execute, which code not going to execute based on the conditions. We are making some decisions. These things we call it as a decision making statements also. Okay. Clear this part, guys? Everyone, please tell me. Tell me Any doubts here?
Yeah, clear.
Yes,
First is
clear.
అర్థం కాల అప్పుడు నాకు చెప్పండి.
if is true,
Yeah,
else is false.
yeah.
Okay. ఫస్ట్ కండిషన్ సాటిస్ఫై అయితే ట్రూ అయితే నో ఇల్స్ అవసరం లేదా?
ఎల్స్ ఇంకా రాదు పైథాన్ కోడ్.
ఓకే ఓకే.
ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ రాసామంటే కండిషన్ సాటిస్ఫై అయితే ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది, లేకపోతే డిఫాల్ట్ గా ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Okay, let's do another example. This is just one example. Okay, even else if it is not even, what will with its odd, right? So what output I am expecting? I am getting even, because this one is equal to 0. This output is 0. 0 equal to 0. It's true, right? If it is true, I am getting even. When this condition false, it is go and execute the else block. When this condition true, it is just execute if block and come out of this if else logic. So I'm making this 19. In this case, what output I'm expecting here? Odd, right? Because this model is not is 0, right? There is some value here. So a value now equal to 0, false. So it is go Python comes here and execute this step. Clear this point?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
This is if else actually. Let's go to the another statement. If else flow diagram. I think we no need to explain this. You understood it. When condition is true, statement of if block will execute. When condition is false, statement of else block will execute, right? When condition true, statement of if block will execute. When this condition is false, statement of else block is executing. Sir. So if you go to PPT again, here I given one example with PPT. Just go through this one flow diagram. Okay. For example, A equal to 1. If A equal to 1, A is nothing but what? 1 only, right? 1 equal to 1. What is this one? True. True means if block code is going to execute. If this one is false in case, else block code is going to be executed. And this statement is always be executed because this print statement is not available inside the if block and inside the else block. This print statement is equivalent statement to the if, not inside if or else. That means that this statement is not going to be this statement is going to be executed always. It's not going to depend on the if conditions decisions. Okay, it's outside if else block code. So output is when I run this. If you run this program, what output I am going to get? A is equal to 1. This statement, right? Because 1 is equal to 1. True if block is executed. And after this statement will always execute also in the output screen. Sorry, I was in mute, guys. A equal to 1, A equal to 1. In this case, A is value is 1 and value is constant is 1. So 1 equal to 1 means this condition true, this print statement is executing. So here this is comes under the if block statement. This one comes under the else block statement. So if I write the same code again, print outside if blocks, outside if blocks. If you observe it, then this print statement is going to execute always. It's not going to depend on the this if elif decision making statements, because this print statement is not there inside if or inside else. So it is outside its equivalent statement to the if else condition. So this is going to be executed always. Let's see it. Sorry. So some issue here, but it should execute.
Print
PRINT print, right?
yeah, your print line.
Okay. Anyhow, in here it is giving error, but we are doing in interactive way, right? But it will work in when while doing in ideally. I will show you later. Okay. But the problem here is the catching concept here is this statement is going to be executed always. It's not going to depend on the if and else. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just whatever the flow we discussed. We just discussing. For example, input A equal to 1, right? On test expression, this is the test expression. So if this expression is true, body of if, what is the body of if? This statement, right? This statement is going to execute. If this text if this test expression is false or this condition is false, body of else, else is coming. This is the body of else. It's going to execute, right? Get my point? This is the how it works.
Okay.
This is how control flows based on the conditions. So here I given some examples on the if else actually. Okay. So we please practice these all examples. You will get some idea how Python control is executing appropriate statement based on the conditions we are checking. Let's see tomorrow.